Welcome to WTSS Season 7, race number 13 here at Indianapolis, one of the oldest racetracks on the entire planet. The track that built oval racing as a whole and kept it around for decades to come. This track has seen many racing series come to show off their absolute best in front of 400,000 capacity fans throughout the decades here at this hollowed racetrack that has been around since the late 1900s. In qualifying, we saw Patrick Smith pull off one of the most ridiculous pole laps in WTSS history, clearing the field by nearly 0.3 of a second. Last race in North Wilkesboro, we saw a crazy race all the way through, the longest short track race of the season that saw 8 caution flags fall, and Kyle Buschelia stealing the victory from rookie Jeff McLennan in the dying laps to score a hard-earned third career victory. Ryan Reid barely kept his point lead after strong runs from Sean Angel and Shrimp Engrits. Reid comes into this race with a 4-point lead over the second in points driver Angel. Both of them have qualified within the same vicinity of each other, with Angel out front. Can he keep the point lead? Patrick Smith was strong at Michigan. He's on pole here at Indianapolis. It's 60 laps to figure out who comes out on top. Chris Dodd alongside of him. Let's get to the race. The pace car is in. Patrick Smith and Chris Dodd, your front row here at Indianapolis. 60 laps. We're underway here at the Brickyard. And Daniel Voiles gets an amazing start from third place. But Patrick Smith is absolutely gone as we head into turn number 1. Into turn 2 for the first time today. Voiles keeping close tabs with that 77, but if that car has any amount of the straightaway speed we saw in qualifying, he's going to be untouchable once they get past about the first lap in terms of straight line speed. Down into turn 3 for the first time. He's already going 207 miles an hour into the entry to turn 3. Patrick Smith will lead us down through the back half of this first lap as we see 2 and almost 3 wide racing throughout the rest of the field, but it looks like we're going to have a clean first lap here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway with Patrick Smith the leader. Stavinaugh takes the third position away from William Duncan into turn number 1. Duncan drops back behind the 26 of Test Car and possibly even further behind Aiden Shepard. Momentum is a huge thing at this track, especially in a stock car. You lose one set of momentum, you have to build it all the way back up. Going on the high side around here is a death sentence in basically any race car.
Ooh, but you say that, but Duncan is trying to come back here.
He digs deeper on the outside, but by the time we're going to get to turn 1, he's going to have to do it all over again. And even though he held it that time, he has to do it another round through turn 1, and it's not viable. Patrick Smith's car is unbelievably fast in a straight line, and he's backed it up from qualifying into the race.
As you've said, these are some of the highest speeds in the series.
Oh yeah, this is definitely the highest top speed you're going to see all season, is into the corners here, as Ryan Reid makes a move on Ray Takeda with Tristan Wilhoit trying to follow through.
How are the teams going to go with that? We've already seen some mechanical issues in qualifying.
Yes, there was an engine failure for Tristan Wilhoit and a blown tire as well for Mitchell Carter. As Test Car takes the third position away from Daniel Voiles, who has just lost second to Jake Stavinaugh when we weren't looking. And Voiles sends it back down the inside and bumps the 26 of Test Car into turn 3. That was actual visible contact between the two of them. They get away with it for the time being. But Jake Stavinaugh now is the man in second, the closest to Patrick Smith.
Voiles looking again.
Nah, Voiles... It seems that the outside of turn 4 specifically seems to be the... Oh, huge crash!
Oh, big crash!
Caution is out! Patrick Smith takes the yellow, and we're under yellow for the first time today here at Indianapolis. Who were the cars involved? Arnie Nugroho, Bobby Frazier, Elijah Innes, Shrimp Engrits, third in the championship, Jeffrey Finguy, and possibly Chanarong Wongsuat, who looks like he might have slight damage, maybe from avoidance. But 4 cars with absolutely monstrous damage in the pits. We'll have to go back and see what happened to bring out the first caution of the day here at Indianapolis. As you can see here, it looks like Bobby Frazier took it 3 wide with Jeffrey Finguy and Ray Takeda. Exit of turn 3, turns the 92, hard into the inside wall, back up the racetrack, flying into the path of Shrimp Engrits, and nowhere to go for Elijah Innes and the 45 of Arnie Nugroho.
That's a massive crash.
Unbelievable crash through turns 3 and 4.
I will say something that's even more unbelievable. I feel we should look at Tamara.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, wow. Oh, that was lucky.
Oh, nearly decapitated
Chanarong
him.
Wongsuat had the luckiest escape out of all of them, but I saw Yuki Tamura in the 60 car.
Yeah, I'm not sure Chanarong's the luckiest one, if I'm being honest.
Oh my lord!
We've said that these are the highest speeds, and you can see where that leads.
An unbelievable crash to open off the first 5 laps here at Indianapolis. Let's go back and see what the running order is as we come to our first restart. Pace car is pulled back in. It's going to be a lap 9 restart here at Indianapolis. The restarts are going to be where Patrick Smith is most vulnerable. So as we get up to speed, back on the gas, Jake Stavanaugh approaches the back of the 77 into turn 1, but even then, getting a better restart, Smith leads into turn 1. Look at Aiden Shepard. We haven't seen much of him all season. He cuts underneath Daniel Voiles to get 4th. He cuts underneath Cale Teskar Jr. to try to go for 3rd, but Teskar hangs on. Exit of turn 2. Stavanaugh all over the back of the 77. Does he have anything?
He's gonna pull out.
Not even close. Patrick's pulling away from him while Stavanaugh's riding on the rear spoiler of that 77 car. Unbelievable speed from that Van Dalen. I don't know what they did on the setups and how nobody else was able to figure out and match that setup. We'll have to see how this car handles on the long run, because I would presume a car with this much straight line speed is going to struggle in the corners eventually. Smith leads lap 1 of the restart as we start the 10th lap of 60. And it does look like the cars behind him have better cornering. Like they trimmed all the downforce off that 77 car because they knew that even if somebody got alongside of him, he could pull back ahead on the straightaway. Look at that straight line speed. That's unbelievable. That doesn't even compute. Shepard inside on Teskar, and again, somebody hits the 26 of Teskar into turn 3. This time it wasn't Voiles, it was Aiden Shepard. And Shepard tries to clear on the run through turn 4. He does. He does not have to deal with the side-by-side on the exit and goes to chase after the lead duo.
I mean, speaking of that, you were mentioning that he got up to 209 with no drafting help.
Yeah, Patrick Smith is unbelievable. I don't know. It's got to be they just tuned the engine to the maximum they could do it without blowing it up. And at the same time, they've got probably the downforce trimmed off that thing, because we see the 80 of Jake Stavanaugh pull right back up to his rear bumper through the corners. But he just can't do anything on the exits because there's no speed. But there's somebody else affiliated with Patrick Smith that is approaching this battle up at the front, and it's one of the guys that contended at the front at Michigan, another track similar to this in speed. Daniel Giroux is chasing 8th place from Roberto Crown Jr. The top 7 have broken away out front. Voiles just did a 46.13, which I believe is the fastest lap of the race, but that's following a train of 3 cars in the draft. You might be able to overpower the 77 if he had more cars ahead of him that you could pull more draft off of, but it's 1 car you're pulling the draft off of. It's not as powerful. And as a result, he is stringing these guys along.
Possibly if this goes on long enough, we might get lap cars, and that might be their chance.
Quite possibly. Shepard, though, looks incredibly fast, and looks fast enough to pass Stavanaugh for 2nd place. He just has to find the right time to do it. He thinks now it is. Inside, on the 80 of Jake Stavanaugh, into turn 1 goes Aiden Shepard. Does not lift into turn 1. fully commits to it and gets through on the 80 car by the exit of turn number 1. Teskar might have a bone to pick with Daniel Voiles here after the earlier rough-up that he got from him, as Shepard on the exit of 2 from being on the inside lane had an awkward exit, nearly got passed back by Stavina, who's now being attacked by Voiles into 3 with Teskar under pressure from Figueroa. Here comes Crown Jr. and Giroux back there. They're approaching this battle now. Voiles takes the 4th position back and chases after Aiden Shepard to try and take 2nd back, but Patrick Smith almost has gotten away from these guys now, from them just battling. And we've got damage for the 50 of Ray Takada, who's in the pits, and we might have had an incident that drew no caution towards the midfield. Oh man! Brandon Krasta got into the 50 of Ray Takada, and that drew no caution in turn 3. But that was an incident at the back of the field, but the officials did not see any debris on the ground, and as such, ultimately kept it green after the entire field had cleared past the accident site. And Ray Takada is effectively done for this race now. She is going to be so far behind, she's not going to be able to play any sort of factor in this race. Even if she got back, that damage is going to be too much anyways. Daniel Giroux has gotten Cale Teskar Jr. He's now trying to get through on Sean Angel down the back straightaway. But now it looks like Aiden Shepard is starting to pull a gap on those behind him. And he seems to be the only car able to keep at least an ounce of pace with the 77. Look at this pack of cars back here. William Duncan in the 66. Chris Dodd in the 8. And many more. Championship leader Ryan Reid as well.
Is 77 really that fast in the race?
Yes, just as fast as qualifying.
Oh, man.
It's going to be incredibly difficult to beat Patrick Smith today.
It's over with. No, it's over with.
It would take probably a pit cycle adjustment from another car to get even close to that car. Or possibly a slow stop or maybe a mid-cycle yellow. Those are the only ways I could see that 77 getting stopped, because right now they're not going faster than him. Even
we're gonna have to see. We're gonna have to see though if the tires wear.
That's what I've been saying all weekend. Yeah, the tire wear is going to be where it could be won or lost, because the 77, we've not seen a long run from this 77 car. Now, these guys are now back into a line of cars, while they were before Daniel Voiles made the move for 2nd. And in a line of cars, you can build enough energy to gain back up to the 77. But we've seen, even when that line of cars catches Patrick Smith, they can't make the move. He's just so fast on the straight line, he just slips away from him. Roberto Crown Jr. in the 46 has climbed up the order immensely throughout this race, and honestly looks like a car with some pretty stout straight line speed from what I can see. He's now gotten Aiden Shepard now up into the 5th position, and he's on the back of Figueroa to try and group back up together to try and maybe think of something on the 77 of Patrick Smith.
I did have changes I wanted to make.
Stavina once again trying to get past Voiles.
Yep, Stavina gets back through on the 13, but the more they battle for this 2nd spot, the worse it's going to be in terms of catching Patrick Smith back up. Absolutely.
You might wonder if they're even trying, if they're just trying to go for 2nd.
I don't know. I think every single one of them thinks that they are the best car to be in 2nd place. Because they all want to be that one. They all want to be that driver, the one who actually manages to make it past the 77. Race car drivers are some of the most selfish sportsmen out there, because all you have to worry about is yourself and trying to win the race.
And you kind of have to be in some places.
Absolutely. Like this, Roberto Crown Jr. doesn't want to wait behind the 98 of Figueroa any longer. Goes down the inside for 3rd position and clears on the exit of turn 1 to go follow Jake Stavina. And that in turn is going to put Daniel Voiles down the inside and throw Figueroa down the order.
Crown Jr. now the sole representative of Fingai Saitomi.
Absolutely,
after Fingai's incident.
last week's winner, Kyle Bisceglia, just doesn't have the pace. They obviously went a different setup direction to his teammate Patrick Smith, and that car ultimately just doesn't have anything on it for this run. Ultimately, I don't think we're going to necessarily see lap traffic as this run goes on, but we will see a lapped car in the Ray Takeda car that is about 3.5 seconds off the pace per lap. So we will be seeing her eventually.
A car that's not usually up here on these types of tracks.
It's Krispy Kreme dough. I love me some donuts.
Jake Stavanaugh has not been the shining star at Roush Racing Enterprises this season, but he's had some solid runs. He's not far back in the points. But now, running in second to Patrick Smith in Indianapolis feels like a victory almost with how fast that 77 car is. But we might have a true competitor to that 77 car in the form of Roberto Crown Jr., who has now gotten to the second spot underneath. Hit Stavanaugh into turn one! Nearly turned him! What a save for the 80 of Jake Stavanaugh!
That was a rookie mistake from Roberto Crown Jr. And it almost cost Jake Stavanaugh everything.
A rookie mistake, but a veteran save.
Rookie impatience from Roberto Crown Jr. nearly causes a massive accident, but Jake Stavanaugh keeps his head cool, keeps his instincts on him, and keeps the second position and his car. And Crown Jr. is going to pay the price for it. All that hard work trying to go past all those cars, he's falling back.
That might earn him an extra
Only one spot, though.
I can't believe he saved that. My goodness, I can't believe he saved that.
That might earn him an extra season.
That save is absolutely going on SportsCenter.
That save, there was smoke coming off the tires, and there is a tire tread going through turn one in the direction of where his car was spinning, and it saved it.
That save is going in my AMV video on the season at the end of the year.
Hell yeah.
That's what dudes say when they see this.
Patrick Smith, the leader still. End of lap 22, and Crown Jr. is already back on the move to the back of Daniel Voiles. Like I was saying, there could be one driver that has some sort of a chance in terms of his straight line speed to match up against Patrick Smith, as Roberto Crown Jr. just hit 207 into turn one, and so
I scared him a little though.
I don't know. He did not seem to want to make that move, but I don't think he had enough of a run.
Air is still going to be an issue.
The tire wear is going to be a thing as well. We've not seen how this 77 car handles on a long run, and right now, as the rest of the field approaches.
I mean, we are almost halfway through, and he is holding up pretty well.
Voiles is looking for some action here.
I almost have to wonder if Stavanaugh's car is a cornering-based car, because they're making moves on him, but they can't seem to make any moves that stick. Voiles is going to try this time. I think he's going to have a real chance at this one. Yes, he will. Voiles finally breaks the number 80 off of the second position, but Roberto Crown Jr. is not going to have a chance at Stavanaugh if Aiden Shepard finds his nose down the inside, but he can't quite.
Crown is really close on him, though. Yep. Can make a move if he gets the run, but he's got to generate that first.
Yep, you got
through 3 and 4.
Sean Angel into the mix now. Angel would take the point lead from championship leader Ryan Reid right now in this position.
Crown is all over his bumper. He's got the momentum now.
But the problem is he's helping him now by being all over that bumper.
Yep, there's a bubble of air, and if you're too close to it, you're just pushing the car ahead of you instead of actually being able to do it.
He just looks scared to try the pass again.
I wouldn't say that.
No,
I would not say that.
He's still looking.
That's exactly what's happening. Is that his best corner is in turns 1 and 2, which is the places you can't pass.
His best corners are the initial turns of the sets of 2 at turns 1 and turns 3. He's made a lot of aggressive passes through there, but he's ultimately
drifts up just a little bit.
Yeah, not generating the runs, because I think Stavanaugh just has such a stout car in the corners that it's hard to generate those runs on.
Underneath Duncan.
That is how those cars. That is that team's design philosophy. So it would make sense.
Yeah, only a spoonful.
will any cars into turn number 1 make any moves? It doesn't look like it back here. There's DJ Curtis looking for 8th on Allison Figueroa, and that train of cars on the outside is going to pay the price every single turn they make of the wheel. As every single time I watch them go through turns 1 and 2, I see that skid mark left by the 80 car, and I cannot imagine how close that must have felt in the cockpit to an absolute disastrous. Wow, Stavina went defensive on the 46 of Crown Jr. because he knew that car had a run on him, and he made sure to cover it off before they got to the turn.
Can I just say that Stavina didn't lose any positions there. It was Crown who did.
Yep.
And
Crown,
he's blocking again.
And Stavina, before Stavina could make the move
Here we go,
on
take
Voiles,
2.
Crown has a chance on the run to turn number 1, inside on the 80, and it looks like with the preferred line on the exit, he's going to take the third position away from Jake Stavina, and Sean Angel might have something to say about that to go down the inside as well, and a double position loss for the 80 of Jake Stavina.
Roberto Crown got a little bit of help there because he checked up. The 80 checked up on the 13.
Yep.
I guess didn't expect that, and that little momentum switch was just enough for Roberto Crown to get underneath him.
Ryan Reid looks fast. He just took the 9th position from Mark Nutt, and he's now chasing 8th from DJ Curtis. The championship leader did not have a great qualifying, but he's turning it into a great run so far to try and maintain his point lead. But with his main rival only 4 points behind, he has to finish ahead of Sean Angel to maintain that position.
And Crown is so fast, just
There's
like
traffic.
in a vacuum. But he's struggling to make passes, but I think he just has that raw speed to do there.
Smith gets caught on the exit of the corner. But he crucially gets
What
underneath
happened?
This is
Takada by
vulnerability.
the exit, and Daniel Voiles is going to pay every ounce of that as they head to turn number 3. Here comes Daniel Giroux.
Oh no, he got foited.
Oh, this is about to get tight right here.
On the exit of turn number 3 we
Alright.
go. Crown Jr. is the one in second now. We can now finally get a direct comparison of how his car stacks up against the 77 of Patrick Smith. As unbelievable. Voiles cannot find a way back down the racetrack. And that is going to be every ounce of his day ruined if he can't find a way through within the next lap.
It's going to be
He's
a
just getting
while.
freight trained right now. There's
And
absolutely
Figueroa is
not
nowhere to
happy.
go.
Figueroa's
It's
stuck
going to be
behind.
a while before Voiles
There's
can get
nowhere
down.
to go.
Because now Figueroa is going to get down before
And
Voiles
I gotta
is.
say,
Yeah,
Roberto Crown Jr. looks all the amount comparable to the 77 of Patrick Smith right now.
He's just...
Absolutely. You also have to consider though the Crown is getting that slipstream and Smith is not.
Oh man.
I mean, it hasn't really mattered this far.
No
Man,
one that
that's
has had the
back
draft
to what,
on Patrick
12?
Smith has been able to make the move. The 77 has led every lap of this race since the drop of the green, but that time by was the first time I've seen a single car run in the draft of the 77 and gain time. It was a couple hundredths, but it was a gain, and with another drafting partner to help him in the form of Sean Angel, he could, theoretically here, actually make a push for the lead.
The draft.
Oh, he's closed a lot.
Yeah, that draft right there in the
I
back
almost
stretch.
wonder if the tires are starting to hurt on the 77. They've trimmed
that's-
all the downforce off that car.
I don't
By the
know.
way,
I
we
just
are
think that the
halfway this
corners
time by.
are just Crown's strong suit today.
It'll be
But
halfway.
look at the run that Crown gets. He chunked off maybe half a second there.
Across start finish, halfway through here at Indianapolis. 30 laps complete, 30 more to be completed. A 10th gained by
Oh,
Crown
yeah.
Jr. on Patrick Smith that time.
Probably less than 10 laps until we're gonna have to pit.
Voiles is in the 13th position. That is unreal how much he got ruined by that.
Yeah. How am I doing? Oh. Yeah.
But like I said, I don't think Crown has enough by himself. I think, in terms of the straight line, I think he's going to need the 58 of Sean Angel to give him a bit of an aero push on the run down the straightaway. Because, yes, being 1 mile an hour faster on the straights translates to a run. It's not going to be enough of a run, because if you follow close enough to the corner, you're just pushing the 77 forward rather than getting that run that you need to make the pass.
I think it's going to come down to lap traffic on Crown making a move on Smith, because that was the factor that got Crown up to this point, was navigating through that lap traffic, people struggling to get through these lap cars. You've seen it bite other people, but just one hesitation from Patrick Smith, no matter who he navigates through, could be the difference on him being the leader or not.
Well, based off of the time between the fastest and slowest cars on track right now, we're not catching any undamaged traffic throughout this race. It will not happen by the end of this race. The only car we're going to have to deal with is that 50 car of Ray Takeda, who got damaged in an incident that did not draw a caution earlier on. And so her entire day has been completely ruined, but it wasn't like it was going to be much better even if there was a caution, honestly. Crown is keeping it as close as anybody has been able to physically keep it to that 77. You can tell how much faster these guys are than the cars behind. It was a string of about 13 cars in a row before the traffic, and now that these three are out front, no one is making inroads on these three out front.
I don't think you should sleep on Sean Angel one bit. You know, we've been talking about Roberto Crown for the past 5 to 10 laps, but Sean Angel has been keeping up with both of them, and he might even be a little bit quicker. You know, this is not a pack of 2, it's a pack of 3, and it would be a really, really strong day from Angel if he can capitalize on this.
Last time around, Daniel Voiles, yes, he had the draft of about 6 or 7 cars ahead of him off of turn number 4, as we have Alex Benyako has had a crash off of turn number 2, and that's going to draw a caution. He was at the back of the field, and the 29 car is limping back to the pits. Yeah, Patrick Smith is going to lead us back to our caution flag.
Yeah, a bit of a late caution. Seems like Benyako's placement in the field, the officials missed it. But,
it's reminiscent of Ray Takeda's incident earlier.
That's big damage to the back too.
Yeah,
I was looking at the way.
I think they wanted the.
Man.
Ooh. They wanted to keep it green, but they. So
the
they
Hyundai is...
there was debris on the track.
The 29 was dropping debris on the way back to the pit, so they felt it was needed for a yellow. We'll have to go back and look and see what happened there. Patrick Smith leads the race, but we'll see. We'll have to go back and see after our pit cycle, because we know 35 laps on these tires is you can't make that last, and so he's probably going to come in this time.
The Hyundais, from at least what I've seen, have gotten in a lot of incidents this season.
Well, you can see
every race I've watched.
You can see the tire tracks of the Ray Takeda machine there in 3 and 4.
Yeah.
Are we expecting pit stops?
This will be our pit cycle right here. We will not experience a green flag pit cycle here at Indianapolis, as Alex Benyako has finally come out of the pits from his repairs out of the race. They have decided to retire the 29 car.
Isn't that Red 02?
It's a shame.
The 02 Fabio Vitabassa.
Yeah, because Vitabassa and Craster were trying to go at each other for a few, when we were under.
And then on the run to the caution there, they caught that traffic at an awkward time, and they almost came together.
Yeah.
Now this will be the moment of truth. The only time, in my opinion, that I can see anybody actually getting ahead of the 77 is in this pit cycle right here. Jumping that 77 in the pits is going to be crucial to actually being able to fight him. Because if you can have the upper hand on the track position, then you're going to have to make him work for it and work his tires extra hard.
Even if you can't, it's very important for Crown and Sean Angel to nail their stops as well. They cannot afford to lose spots with how hard it is to pass here.
But Crown being that far back in the starting order, he's going to have to be really careful leaving his stall. Out of the pits we go. Aiden Shepard has come out of the pits already. I think we have some people taking 2 tires. People are taking 2 tires out there. 4 drivers. Angel. 4 drivers just came out of the pits on 2 tires.
Voiles is going to gain all those positions back.
Oh, no.
Patrick Smith will come out of the pits in 5th place, but it's only because Aiden Shepard, Chris Dodd, Allison Figueroa, and Daniel Voiles took 2 tires instead of 4.
Man, oh man.
Did anyone else try to take 2?
I'm looking at the list right now. I see... Oh, no, I think Figueroa and Chris Dodd got hit past their pit stalls and are going to have to come back in. Actually, all 4 of them. All 4 drivers got hit past their stalls at some point, it looks like. Oh, man. Contact in the pit lane. That'll do it. And all of their races are effectively done. They're all going to have to go to the back. So Patrick Smith is the leader. Patrick Smith is the leader. These 4 are going to have to come back in because they all got shoved past their pit stalls on the run to their stalls. So that's their race is over. Smith leads Crown Jr., Sean Angel, Daniel Giroux, and DJ Curtis in the top 5. And now, honestly, yeah, I see these 4. They are committing to it, so they're going to probably try and stay out on this restart, hope for an early caution, and get some sort of a tire advantage, because at this point, if you come in, you're getting no advantage.
Well, here's the thing. These are now 4 cars that Patrick Smith will have to perfectly navigate in order to keep the lead. This is going to be probably the most important restart of the entire day, even if we do get another one, because it's going to be imperative that Smith gets through these guys as fast as humanly possible, to not even give Crown or Angel a chance.
Well, we know that the tire wear today has not been the highest. In qualifying, there was not much fall off. People were setting fastest times late into the session. But so it's probably not going to be as big of an advantage as some other tracks where you see 2 or 3 seconds of fall off. We've got about a half second to 7/10, depending on how hard you've been pushing at this point in the race. It was going to start falling off even further if we had kept going, but it's not going to be an easy pass for any of these guys to get through these 4, but none of them can make it on fuel is the crucial part here. None of them are going to be able to go to the end. They will have to pit at some point, whether that be on the restart or a few laps after, or hopefully, in their case, a caution that they catch a couple laps into the restart. But it's Aiden Shepard, technically the race leader, but the real top 5 of the drivers who can go to the end are Patrick Smith, Roberto Crown Jr., Sean Angel, Daniel Giroux, and DJ Curtis. Let's go back and look at a replay to see what happened to Alex Bignacco that brought out the second caution of the day here at Indianapolis. So we see them coming off of turn number 2, and Chonarong Wongzawat with a big dive on the 29 into turn 2, and just cleans the 29 out on the exit of turn 2. That's a much harder hit than Ray Takeda had. That is a much harder hit than Ray Takeda suffered in turn number 3 earlier on. And that is ultimately what led to the officials throwing the caution a bit late, but throwing the caution nonetheless, as the 29 was falling apart, driving back to the pits, limping back.
That was a very opportunistic move by Wongzawat there.
That's generous.
Lights are on pace car.
Dang.
Lights are out on the pace car. The top 4 on this restart are all going to have to pit at some point, whether that be on the actual restart itself, or a few laps in, or maybe even as long as they physically can till they run out. But we will have a car on the inside for this restart. So this is why it's going to be a bit dicey for guys like Patrick Smith, because if you try to make a move on these 4 within the first couple corners, you're going to face the rear bumper, the 50 of Ray Takeda. And so, honestly, just following in line through the first couple corners might be the smart decision here. Even if it does put you vulnerable to the couple cars behind, it's better than getting freight trained to the back by the 50 like we saw with Daniel Voiles.
If you are somebody outside of the top 3, as in Patrick Smith, Roberto Crown Jr., and Sean Angel, seeing these 4 guys and the 1 car on the outside, you have to think to yourself that this is your one chance. Like, if you are going to get into the mix for the win, this is your chance to try and take advantage of the running order being jumbled up. Everybody's going to be jockeying for positions, including Patrick Smith, who doesn't have clean air for the first time. You can make some opportunistic moves, and you can assert yourself as somebody who can contend for this win.
That is an aspect we haven't discussed yet. We have not really seen how the 77 handles in dirty air in the race. In qualifying, when Smith was in dirty air, he was still turning laps that were good enough to win the pole. They weren't his fastest laps of qualifying, but he was still winning. He was still getting laps that were 1/10 to 2/10 quicker than the second place time in qualifying. If I were a betting man, I'd say that 77 probably still handles the way it did in qualifying. But if they made any sort of adjustments on that car during the pit cycle, it could change the entire profile of this race. As we come to the restart, it will be 22 laps to go across start finish, and we are back underway. And just like I said, that 50 car of Ray Takeda is way off the pace, but Patrick Smith doesn't even have to worry about it as they head into
already
turn 1
side by side
with Chris Dodd going for the lead on Aiden Shepard. But remember, none of the top 4 on this running order can make it to the end on fuel. Smith already inside on Voiles and Shepard. Exit of 2, he's going to try and cut underneath Figueroa as quickly as physically possible. Down on the run to turn 3, he will do so with his extended straightaway speed compared to the rest of the field. He might even get inside of Chris Dodd into turn 3. Almost.
Oh, he can't. And importantly, Crown couldn't get under Aiden Shepard, and now they're side by side.
Yes, and I think Chris Dodd is coming in.
Oh no, he's stuck on the outside.
Chris Dodd is coming in. They're all coming in except for Aiden Shepard, who has chosen to come around, and every car had to check up from those 3 drivers coming into the pits. Daniel Giroux is going to pay the biggest price of them all as they all go sailing around the outside of the 2 car. Sean Angel ultimately is going to take a huge hit in that as well, but Patrick Smith now has an absolute lead over the rest of the field.
They're just hoping that causes it.
That's terrible.
Aiden Shepard looks like he's going to wait another lap. I think he's in the boat of wanting to get a couple laps of advantage on his tires should another caution come out. And with how grouped up the field is back here, we might just get that caution. We saw it earlier. 3 wide is a death sentence around here, and some people have really been peeking on the entrance to the corners, especially with the 50 of Ray Takada, in the way of championship leader Ryan Reid. Oh, nothing he can do. Reid is completely screwed on the outside lane. Shepard is into the pits. Every driver has come in now from that group. But Patrick Smith is miles out front, and it's going to take people working together to catch him now.
And the cars that pit, they were just trying to put the rest of the field in a bad position. I'm trying to speak for 5 minutes. But they're just trying to put everyone in bad positions. It may seem silly, but if they could cause a caution, they wouldn't lose as much time. And it didn't work out. It hasn't worked out for them.
The reason they didn't come back in, the pits were closed. And now that completely throws their races out and might have just cost every other car in the field a chance to catch Patrick Smith as DJ Curtis goes for second on Roberto Crown Jr. and they've all lost a 10th to the 77 that lap.
Unfortunately, that was the only card they had.
Look at Chris Louviere in the 83. He's been one of the strongest drivers on the 2 big speedways this season. A 6th and a 5th so far in the first 2 ovals, first two big ovals of the season. Those have really been his only shining results this year. He's up into 7th now, and it looks like that race pace is translating once again as I just saw Daniel Giroux hit 209 miles an hour into turn 3 just now. Maybe, quite possibly, they just gave him a similar setup to what the 77 had, because that is the joint highest top line speed of the entire weekend. Look at that.
He might just be getting mad at earlier because of those cars that came in the pit road. He was saying all sorts of things over the radio when he got caught up in that.
But I just cannot imagine that they did not touch that car in the pit stops, because that is straight line speed is the one thing that a driver cannot overcome.
Is that the fastest lap of the race?
That is the third fastest lap of the race behind Mark Nutt and championship leader Ryan Reid, who had to go all the way to the back and is now trying to climb his way back up in compensation.
Speaking of, look at Sean Angel. He got the worst out of that deal. He's all the way back now, outside of the top 10. And it looked like he could have had a shot at the win, but man.
Stavinaugh and Angel both.
Yeah, the 2 car went down to the inside and was able to avoid the train on back. But those 2 were not so lucky.
Giroux just did another 46.0. For reference, Patrick Smith by himself at the back did a 46.7. So yes, it looks like definitely having a partner. They're going to catch back up to that 77 before we see the checkered flag. They've gained 8 tenths on him already.
But I just think that the 77 is just way too far out of reach.
If that 2 car has anything to say about it, I think the 2 car is absolutely capable of it, because the fastest we've seen Patrick hit all race was 207. Daniel Giroux hit 209 on that restart. I think whatever setup they had learned off of, that is the same campus, that is the same alliance between the teams. Whatever they learned off the 77, Daniel Giroux hits 210 miles an hour into turn 1. Fastest top speed of the weekend.
Flat.
That's the
he mad, man.
Not lap time. Top speed we've seen down the front straightaway
That's the fastest we've seen all weekend. Qualifying was a 2:09 from Patrick Smith. Look at the straight line.
They've already caught up to second and third.
Well, in second
Giroux
and third,
and Crown.
Second and third, Marc Nutt and DJ Curtis have cut it down to 1.4 behind Patrick Smith. It was 2.8 after that group of cars came to the pit.
They could have made a bad adjustment on that 77 car.
Well, that's the thing, though, is that's how much slower running without any sort of slipstream is. 46.5 right now. Giroux, even while passing Roberto Crown Jr., did a 46.1.
That's ridiculous.
Man, that car definitely chugging along, man.
Well, I think we'll definitely find out what type of car Dan. I mean, we know he has a fast car, but I want to see just how fast he is without getting impeded at all.
Giroux had
some clean air.
Giroux had a bad exit off of turn number 2, though, and he lost all his momentum and had to gain it back up down the whole back straightaway. DJ Curtis is making a headache out of Marc Nutt right now, and they've lost 0.3 to Patrick Smith that lap alone the previous time around. They have to work together, and Curtis chooses to not work together. They, though, have just closed the gap to 1.1. They
still gained 0.4.
They gained half a second that lap, not working together. But I
can tell you why Curtis wasn't, because here he comes. He's
Daniel
already
Giroux,
caught both of them.
on the exit of turn 2, has got the straight line speed matched up with these guys on the exit.
Curtis is feeling the pressure.
Not close enough to make a move into 3 this time, but that 2 car hits 210 again into turn 3.
And he's still running laps in the 46.0 bracket.
I thought that
Curtis
gap was
did a
bigger.
46.1. Do not count him out either.
That's why I wrote that off.
Well, currently he's passing. He's making Curtis look like a Busch car.
I mean, but
and they've
look,
already caught up to the
Curtis
77
is just
now.
matching him in straight line. Curtis hits 211 for a split second there with a push from Dan Giroux. Giroux needs to get past Curtis if he wants to chase after these guys, because Curtis is just as fast. Off at turn number 2, it's a 4-car race for the win here at Indianapolis. Patrick Smith got to enjoy a healthy gap to just exist and save his tires, but now the entire 3 cars behind him are not letting him get away. Giroux possibly peeking on Curtis into turn 3, but he's unable to find a way through. These 3 drivers are all going to have to work together to gang up on that 77 car. There will be traffic before the end of the race, though.
This is the first time I would say that Patrick Smith's situation looks almost perilous right now with how fast the 54, the 57, and the 2 are. Here they come. They've caught him. They're in a slipstream now.
Yes, they are. Everybody 5th on back is not going to play a factor in this. Crown Jr. has lost the top 4.
We know what type of cars these guys have, but this will be but I think we'll finally figure out what type of changes they could have made to that 77 car.
We'll find out if he's beatable in a straight line as we come down through 3 and 4. The cornering looks much better on the 57 of Marc Nutt. Off of turn number 4. Now, the moment of truth. Does the 77 still have the straight line speed advantage over the others around him? Or is there going to be a challenge for the race lead for the first time today? Marc Nutt inside into turn number 1 to the lead from Patrick Smith. The reigning champion is out front for the first time all season.
He's going to lose 2nd and 3rd.
Patrick Smith's car is fallen off from the first run. The other teams figured out what they did on the setup, and they are flying past him now. Up into 2nd goes Curtis. Up into 3rd goes Giroux. And the straight line speed advantage that Patrick Smith once had is gone. He still hits 208 into turn 3, but it's not what we saw earlier with him being 3 miles an hour faster than everybody else down the straights. They've all figured out what they did on the setup from the first pit cycle, and now are actually putting a fight to him, as now Marc Nutt leads at Indianapolis.
My goat.
Marc Nutt is the only driver who has gotten a sub 46 all race. He did a 45.99, but DJ Curtis almost throws it down the inside at turn 2, but that's going to kill any momentum they had for the back straightaway now.
Any number of things.
Is that going to open up an opportunity for Smith or Giroux?
Peeking down the inside.
Here comes Dan. He's got to run.
The rookie almost hits the 54 of DJ Curtis.
No, they did.
They
hit
the door. And they'll go underneath Curtis to make it an Audi 2-3 here in Indianapolis, or will he? Patrick Smith can't even clear.
They're going to be side
Curtis
by side
just
on
has
the
the
front
drag.
straight.
Any number of things could have happened to that 77. They could have just not kept up with the track. But now
Look at Daniel Giroux!
Look at the
This
run.
two-car looks invincible. Here we go.
Danny, yeah!
This is what we saw at Michigan when Daniel Giroux came from dead last all the way to the front of the field. They just know how to set that car up for straight line speed running as the lap car of Ray Takeda gets in the way, checks up the 57 and Daniel Giroux. DJ Curtis is going to be the one to get caught behind it. Giroux peeks down the inside into turn 4 on Marc Nutt for the lead of the race.
There.
Side by side. Advantage Marc Nutt on the exit though. Patrick Smith is caught back up to this fight now. Side by side for the lead. Rookie Daniel Giroux leads in Indianapolis into turn 1.
Where did Patrick Smith come from?
Smith is back up to the bumper. It's an Audi 1-2 in the Van Dalen camp out front.
Oh,
Now,
but the 2 is running away with it.
does Smith have a rebound, a rebuttal to try and go back for the lead? Or did he just get to that second position on pure chance and pure circumstance with that traffic? Marc Nutt back down the inside for second place. He's going to go to try to chase back after the 2 because I feel like he has just as fast of a car, if not equal on pace as Daniel Giroux is. It just that traffic caught him at the wrong time.
Let's see what kind of lap that the 2 can set without a slipstream in front.
Well, we'll have
Is
to
it
see
on
at the end of this
pace?
lap. We'll have to see after this lap because this lap he started the lap with a push from Patrick Smith. There's a fit 46-49.
What's the matter? Holy shit. Pardon my Portuguese.
Daniel Giroux in the lead ahead of Marc Nutt with 7 laps to go. Caution is out at Indianapolis. We're going to have a restart at the end of this one. And it looks like Jake Stevens has been turned around in the first corner.
Man.
This day just has not been good for the Rocket Atkinson cars.
And Giroux,
No, it hasn't.
I believe, is the only one of this group who has not taken the yellow yet at this point, and he's going to roll it back to the caution flag in the lead ahead of Marc Nutt and Patrick Smith. The top 4 now will be converged once again on the rest of the field, and so if there's somebody like a James Gibson or a Chris Louviere or even a Cale Teskar Jr. or Logan Hill who might have a car just as quick in a straight line, they're now not going to have that massive chasm to overcome. Caution is out.
Oh, this is kind of interesting.
Do we have lucky dogs?
No.
No, okay.
So Daniel Giroux takes the caution flag ahead of Marc Nutt, Patrick Smith, DJ Curtis, and James Gibson. Let's go back to see what happened to bring out what will end up being the final caution period of this race. So we can see Jake Stevens down the front straightaway, catches the 50 of Ray Takeda, drifting to the middle of the track surface, slams into the inside wall, careens across the racetrack, and every single car in the field miraculously missed the rookie on the run through turn number 1. And Stevens, making a rookie mistake while clearing lap traffic, will lose a guaranteed top 10 finish at the very end of the event.
You really hate to be turned around in one of the fastest corners on the entire schedule.
We need to go back and
That's really
see.
scary.
Need to go back and
I need to see if Taka moved to the middle.
Yes, she did. She drifted down the racetrack into the path of the 18. So it wasn't necessarily a rookie mistake from Jake Stevens. It was an error in judgment from Ray Takeda there. The pace car pulls back in. It'll be a 2-lap shootout to decide this race. Last week at North Wilkesboro, we saw a rookie in Jeff McLennan have a heartbreaking loss in the last 5 laps of that race. At Indianapolis, Daniel Giroux only has to hang on for 2 more. We're back underway with the Ditech Van Dalen driver with an amazing restart. On the gas, gets away from Marc Nutt through the first couple corners, but now as the rest of the field behind is going to be nose to tail, they're almost going to be working together on trying to catch that number 2 car on the exit of 2. Great run from Marc Nutt with the drafting help from Patrick Smith down the back straightaway.
What a launch for the 2, but the 57 is right there.
Right there, into turn 3, not close enough, but now making his presence known on Daniel Giroux as we come through 3 and 4 for the second and last time. White flag will be in the air. Ditech Van Dalen looking for their first win as a team. Marc Nutt on the exit of turn 4, trying to peek underneath on the run to the white flag. side by side almost as we come to start finish. Nose to tail, nothing between them. Daniel Giroux leads on the last lap in Indianapolis. DJ Curtis thinking about a move on Patrick Smith. Can't do it. Exit of turn number 1. Does Marc Nutt try to pull a sneak attack? No, he can't.
Marc Nutt's going to have one chance to do this. It's going to be right now down the back straightaway.
He's got one shot unless the 77's going to make his move on the 57.
He needs help from Patrick Smith. He can't pull it that time. He's going to have one more opportunity into turn 4. Curtis dives underneath Patrick Smith.
They hit.
Marc Nutt's got one chance and one chance more left to go, and he's not close enough. Exit of turn number 4. Ditech Van Dalen. An Audi won last week. An Audi will win this week. The same campus finds 2 wins in a row. Daniel Giroux gets career win number 1 in Indianapolis.
Woo!
Yeah!
Yeah! Yeah!
Have you ever...
Cars were in the pits. I think we got some restart penalties as well.
No, we had
season.
a handful of drivers run up of fuel at the end there. Daniel Giroux in the 2 car charged his way to the front on that second run and never lost it from the moment he took the lead, and he's going to earn that first career victory. We saw it at Michigan. He had a car fast enough to win that day, but ultimately couldn't hang with the top 2 at the end. And now it's retribution day for the rookie who had one of the most torrid starts to a season I've ever seen in the WTSS, and Giroux is on top in Indianapolis, holding off the reigning champion to do it. The cars that ran up dry at the end of the race there that could not quite make it on fuel were Yuki Tamura, it looks like Eugene DeMax, Jake Stevens, and Tristan Wilhoit. The only one of note there that was in a high running position was Yuki Tamura. But it's Daniel Giroux out front ahead of Marc Nutt, DJ Curtis, Patrick Smith, and James Gibbs in the top 5. Chris Louviere, Logan Hill, Cale Tescar Jr., Mitchell Carter with his first top 10 of the season, and Roberto Crown Jr., the top 10. Hu Ji-yeon, Ryan Reid salvages a 12th place finish and will maintain the point lead, with Jake Stavina, Fabio Vitabassa, and Mitchell Marc finishing 15th and not getting 3 Speedway wins in a row. The rest of your running order is as follows here at Indianapolis, with Alex Benyako, Shrimp Engrits, Jeffrey Finguy, Bobby Frazier, Arnie Negroho, and Elijah Innes, the DNFs for this event. Congratulations to Daniel Giroux, your winner at Indianapolis. We'll see you next week for the debut round at Road America in the WTSS.